Hello friends, this is Dhananjay. Today I want to discuss you what is meant by XSL and XSLT. Okay, so let's move on to the topic. Let's see what is meant by XSL. So which it is XML. XSL stands for Extensible Style Sheet Language. Okay, so CSS was designed for styling HTML pages, right? And can be used to style XML pages also here. Okay, XML like XSL was designed specifically to style XML pages, and it's much more sophisticated than CSS. Of course, so when if you want to use if you want to use CSS for the mainly the CSS is mainly it will give a colorful or a style effect for your HTML pages, right? So if you want to apply the same color effects and the style look and feel effects for XML pages, then we have to use XSL. Okay, and it consists of three different languages, and first one is the XSLT, that is XSL transformations. XSLT means XSL, transformations means extensible style sheet language, transformations. Okay, it's a language used for transform XML documents into other kinds of a document, if you want to you can able to convert from XML document to PDF or XML document to XML or XML document to HTML, like that. There are many more kinds of modification, many more kinds of transformations. For if you want to do that type of transformation, so we have to use like XSLT. Okay, and the second language is that is a XPath. It's a language to select parts of a XML document to transform with XSLT. Okay, so if you want to transform only particular parts of a content, at that time we have to use XPath. So it's easy to transform with XSLT. Okay, and third one, that is called XSL4. XSL4 nothing but here formatting objects. Okay, so here it's a replacement for a CSS. There is no such current implementations for XSLFO, and we can't cover it. Okay, so let's see another thing, that is architecture for this. Before that, we have to understand in a summary way. Just I'll give a use of XSLT. Okay, so it is an XML language, so use it to transform an XML document into another format. Okay, here whatever we are giving XML document as an input, you will get an output as XML document output. So you can have you can put it as a PDF or HTML, whatever the requirement of a format that you need, then you can able to transfer that. Okay, so other formats includes like HTML or MathML or text format or XML format. Okay, so what is the main purpose of XSLT? So what is the main application of XSLT? Means it's mainly for a document publishing. Okay, so which an XSL technology has an important role in the field of document publishing actually. Okay, so using XSL we can able to convert an XML document to HTML file or a PDF document or other format. So for this, by applying an XSL style sheet, we can able to render a new view of a data, right? So by applying a style sheet for that XML document, we can able to get a new look and feel for a data. So the development of multiple style sheets allows us to have multiple views of the same data. So here we can have an architecture which it will gives you an information about XSLT working mechanism. Okay, so XSLT provides the mechanism for converting XML document to another format. Here I specified we have 4 different components. So those are all called important components. So if one component is missed, then it won't execute all the process. So remember here we have to give an input as XML document to XSLT processor. Okay, what XSLT processor will do means it will collect the style sheet from XSL, and in a parts of it will select the parts by using XPath. Then it can able to transform in another format. Okay, so here the style sheet contains the style sheet contains conversion rules for accessing and transferring the input XML to a different output format. Okay, so and an XSLT processor is responsible for applying the rules defined in the style sheet to the input XML document. So you have to remember those different points. Like first one, XSLT provides the mechanism for converting an XML document to another format. Second one, this is accomplished by applying an XSLT style sheet to XML document, and the style sheet contains conversion rules for accessing and transferring the input XML document to a different XML or a different output format, and an XSLT processor is responsible for applying the rules defined in the style sheet to the input XML document. So when it is used, let's see another thing, that is XSLT, when it is used, when to use it. Okay, so when a document is stored in a one format, and if you need to convert into another format, then at that time you can able to use XSLT. Example, if you want to transform XML document into like a HTML document, or if you want to transform an XML document into a PDF document. Okay, so when you want to remove unnecessary markup not required for processing by your application, so use as a front end to query a database, or a script can generate a request that the database responds to. Okay, so the style sheet can then transform the results to the query into a XHTML format. Okay, this you have to remember when it is used. So what is the when to use it? First of all, you have to, if you want to transform or if you want to convert from one document to another document. Okay, then we'll see how do we use it. Okay, we'll see how do we use it. Here we can have like clients and server. So whatever the things, whatever there in the left side, that comes under client part. Whatever the right side, that is there, that is called server part. Okay, in the middle of the session, how the transformation will do, that's the thing we have to understand. How do we use it? So if a server wants to send one XML document to a client, then the simple clients can able to receive in a HTML format. They need HTML format, or they need PDF format, or they need another format like that. Okay, so for conversion we have to use one language called XSLT for each and every. For example, if I am using workstation, then maybe they can use XML or they can use PDF. Okay, or if I am using a laptop, just I can able to get only either HTML format, or if I am using a handheld computer, so there we have to use XML format like that. So like that we have to convert here, use XSLT to convert XML documents at server and send to the client. Okay, that is the thing you have to remember. So there are two ways to use XSLT. First one is server side processing, and second one is client side processing. So server side means here we can have like a server can able to it does XSLT transformations on server and sends HTML to client. So whatever the document that is there inside a server, that is XML document, it can able to send into the form of HTML format to client, that is workstation here. And what about client side processing? Server can able to send XML document and XSLT style sheet to be at the client, which does the transformation will be there. So at server end, if the XSLT transformation is done by a server side, then we can call it as server side processing. If XSLT like a transformation is done at a browser side or a client side, we can call it as client side processing. Okay, you have to remember these points. Okay, and let's see like a client side XSLT processing, how it will. Okay, so let's see one architecture format. We can have like a client side like XSLT processing commonly occur in a web browser itself. Okay, and here we can have web browser and web server. So the web server, a web browser includes an XSLT processor and retrieves an XML document and XML style sheet. Here I mentioned in the architecture itself, right? So the client side technique of uploads like the XSLT processing to the client machine. So this minimizes the workload on the server, on the web server, right? So however, the disadvantage is that the web browser must provide XSLT support. So without XSLT support, the web browser can't able to execute that. So this will this is a problem in that. Okay, this is a disadvantage here. Okay, that should be supported XSLT support. Okay, web browser must be support XSLT support. And let's move on to second one, that is server side XSLT processing. Here the server side XSLT processing occurs on the web server or application server. Okay, the server side process such as Apache, Active Server pages or Java server pages or a Java servlet will retrieve an XML document and a XSL style sheet and pass them to the XSLT processor here. Okay, whatever the different languages that we are using from browser side, it can able to pass here at XSLT processor side. Okay, and then so the output of XSLT processor is sent to the client web browser for presentation. So again it will render back to that, and the output is generally markup language such as HTML. So that is easy to understand by the web browser. Okay, you have to remember these two different things. Okay, let's move on to another concept, that is how does it work. Okay, so this is important step of if you want to understand like in a theoretical way and in a practical way. If you want to understand what about XSLT, then you have to understand the mechanism of XSLT. So here a picture comes like how does it work. Okay, first the XML source document is passed into an XML source tree. So that's an important first one. Source document is passed into an XML source tree which it has tree of nodes, and you can able to use like XPath to define templates that match parts of a source tree. Okay, whatever the source tree is that is getting from source document, so we have to apply templates which it matches for parts for the source tree. Okay, and then you can use like XSLT to transform the matched part and put the transformed information into the result tree. So first thing we have to get from source document, it pass it into source tree, apply templates for a particular part if it is matched, and then you can use XSLT to transform the matched part and put transferred information into result tree. Okay, so the result tree is output as a result document. That is an important, and that is a final thing. So you have to transform like from source document to result document, and the parts of a source document that are not matched by the template are typically copied unchanged. Okay, so now let's see how an XML data can be transformed by using XSLT. So in a simple manner, in an architectural format. So whatever we observed in a point-wise manner, and now we are applying, we are using like we are seeing on architectural format, which it will give more idea about XSLT mechanism. Okay, first here we can have XSLT source document, XML source document. So we have to apply XSL style sheet for XML. So here XML parser will do that. XML parser will check source trees, like whatever the nodes, what are the root node, what is the parent node, what is the child node, how many nodes are there, what are the exact data. If you want to transform, then it will select entire information as a source tree here. And here whatever the things, whatever the style sheet we are applying, it will apply to the result tree. Then the result will be applied here based on the rules, and finally will get result file, that is called XML output or PDF file or HTML. Let's see XSLT elements. Okay, so what are the different XSLT elements are there? So first one, here we can have like define template rules and control the way they are invoked. Here we can have like XSL template and XSL apply templates and XSL call templates. So those three, whatever that is there inside here, it is used to define template rules. Okay, and which can able to control way they are invoked. And one thing, and then one, that is the define a structure of a style sheet. If you want to define a structure of style sheet, so we can have three ways. That is either you can use XSL colon style sheet, XSL colon include, or XSL colon import. Okay, so and how to generate a output. So if you want to generate an output, we can have one more elements, that is XSL colon value of, then element, attribute, text, comment, a processing instruction. So mainly we have to use like value of, element, text. Okay, remaining we are not using that in a general case. Okay, and then if you want to define a variables and parameters, then we have to use that variable with parameters. Okay, then if you want to copy information from source to result, then you can use copy. Okay, and for if you can also use a conditional processing and iteration also, like if statement, choose, okay, when, otherwise, for each. Okay, if you want to sort the data elements that are there in a table format, or if you want to sort in a number, or if you want to sort in alphabetical order, then you can use like XSL colon sort. Okay, so those are all called XSLT elements. You have to remember that. And then final output format is XSL colon output, and another one is document. Okay, these are all called different XSLT elements. You have to remember these different statements, I mean elements, which can be used in XSLT code execution part. Okay, so let's see another one which it is very important to you, that here I will discuss you like how to create XSLT XSL syntax. Okay, so that is very important if you want to create like XSLT programs, or if you want to transform XSLT like babbling XSLT, how you can able to transform like that. So let's see how to create XSL syntax. Okay, the first way is the first method, whatever I am describing, which it is in a practical way. Please observe carefully. And here first one is like XSL colon style sheet version equal to 1.0 and then namespace. So definitely the main element, that is main statement, that is XML namespace, we have to define for transformation purpose, and you have to define style sheet version also. Okay, then this is the XSL colon style sheet is the root element, and if you want to link a style sheet to an XML program, then we have to use like we have to use one statement called XSL XML style sheet type text as XSL href equal to XSL file. Okay, whatever the statements that I mentioned here, that is you have to write in XML code. Okay, so what you are doing means you are creating an XML program and you are writing XSLT element in XSL code, and you are linking XSL code to XML. I will show you in a practical way how to do it. Okay, then let's move on to another one, that is the XSL template. So template consists of the rules to apply when a matching node is found. Okay, so if the matching part, that is whatever the selected parts that is there, if that is matched, that is found, then the template has rules which it applies to that. Okay, so for that we can have one statement called XSL colon template. Okay, is used to build template there. The match attribute is used to associate a template with a XML statement or an element. Okay, so the whatever the value of a match attribute, that is an expression which it has like XSL colon template and a match equal to a root element. Okay, if you are using a match, then it will check the XML elements. Okay, so here whatever the match slash is defines the whole document. You have to remember as whole document, it is entire document. Okay, so this is how XSL template. Okay, and let's see next one, that is simple XSLT. Okay, simple XSLT means here we can have like first XPath means normal slash, which it means entire document, and if you have like a slash, for example consider like a library will have, in a library we can have book, books, two books are there, consider like that, and the first book will have title and author, and second book also title and author. Okay, if we are using like slash library, then it selects the root element. If you are using slash library slash book, means select every book element. If you are using /author, it selects every author element wherever it occurs. Okay, I will show you in a practical way. Before that, we have to understand this concept. Okay, so first one we can have like for each. Okay, what for each here it will represent. For each means here it loops through every book element everywhere in the document. So we specify like /book. So this is an XSLT statement or an element which it can able to select the /book value. Okay, so which it loops through every book element everywhere in the document. Means whenever the book name is found, then it automatically it reads. Okay, and next one is XSL colon value of. XSL colon value of is nothing but which chooses the content of the title element at the current location. So here we mention like just without the slashes, we mention like title. Okay, which it with the value of element. Okay, which it chooses the content of a title element at the current location. Let's move to another one that is called for each. For each means which it chooses the content of a title element for each book in the XML document. Whatever simple thing we are combining both the things and we are getting the value like this. Okay, so if you want to combine like this, you have to start with XSL colon for each, XSL colon for each ended, and then we have to specify value of select equal to title. Whatever the statement we written here, the statement I am combining both. Okay, now let's see what are the different elements that are there in a coming slides. Okay, now I am just I want to display like how to use XSL to create a HTML. Okay, so our goal is to turn like this with I am creating an XML program which it has XML contains library. I mean XML program will have a library is a root element which it has a parent called book. Two books are considered like that. For each book will have title author and title author. Okay, so into HTML that displays something like this, like book titles XML, and then book authors, and we have to group the titles and authors separately. Let's see that. Okay, so which it can able to display output like this. Okay, so simple thing. So using XSL we can able to create our HTML output. Okay, here I created one XML program and we have to link a XSL file to this program, then only it can able to display an HTML format like this. Okay, you will get output like this. Okay, this is called how it uses an XSL to create HTML. Thank you for watching.